Dear family, friends, classmates, acquaintances, and even the random people who may have come across this video on YouTube, my name is Taylor Samuels, and I have important things to share with you that affect us all, every last one of you, even your future unborn offspring, and the many generations to hopefully come after you. This semester in my Environmental Crisis, Causes and Solutions class at Ithaca College, I dipped my foot for the first time ever into ideas on how our environment functions, issues seen with our environment today, and importantly, ideas about sustainability. And my life will never be the same again after this class. I feel that after learning all I have this semester, it is important to get the word out to others who, like me, before taking this course, had no real idea on what is really going on to the planet, and they had no idea how they could help. But they can. They can help create the impact a lot. And I also feel the need to get the word out to those people who are aware and have heard about these issues we face today, but don't necessarily believe or realize how truly bad these issues actually are. In other words, those that are in denial. It is important to understand what is truly happening to our environment, and it is just as important to help develop solutions or humans and even the Earth may be soon on the endangered and extinct list. That's obviously not something that we want. What I thought would be a really fun but still productive way to teach you all about what I've learned this semester in my course would be a trivia game consisting of true, false, and multiple choice questions pertaining to important topics we have covered in the course. Hopefully you're aware of some of these topics already and you'll be able to answer some of these questions correctly, but even if not, you'll surely learn something. Keep track of how many you get right. Good luck! 80 million people? That's the equivalent of adding a new Egypt to the world every year. The total population is approaching 7 billion times what it was in 1800. Every day, approximately 156,000 people die, but 381,000 are born. A net daily growth of 225,000 human beings. Wow, imagine the impacts that this has on available resources. Exponential growth is an outcome of a positive feedback loop. This is exactly what is happening with the population growth dilemma we face. It is important to know that exponential growth is incompatible with sustainability. Eventually, the number of growth will reach a level impossible for the Earth to maintain. The only solution here would be to curb the population growth or to find new resources to sustain us, perhaps another planet. I think we know what the way to go is here. The Earth definitely does have a finite amount of resources that we have access to continue to sustain human life. So as a human population grows, the resources available decrease. It is an exponential relationship. So as less resources are available, the standard of living for some individuals also decreases as people have less and less. Human population growth at some point in the future has to equal zero or we'll have no resources left for anyone. In 1960, there was approximately 600 pounds of product solid waste per capita per year, whereas that number doubled to approximately 1,200 by just 2005. While our culture today generally holds negative attitudes towards being wasteful, this is a paradox if we've ever seen one, because waste services are more supported, universal, affordable, and accessible than even healthcare, housing, or education in society. All the household garbage containers that we line up at the curb every week on garbage day communicate without a doubt that wasting is actually a publicly sanctioned behavior in our society. 800 tons alone of plastic waste was collected in our ocean recently near the Hawaiian Islands. Plastic waste in our oceans is a very large issue. It accumulates in places where convergent currents come together, creating a large pileup. And you thought we threw a lot of trash away. Just think about all these large numbers of trash that don't even make it into the garbage where they're supposed to be, but actually end up in our waterways. This ocean waste affects marine organisms in a very negative way. It can result in disease, death, stunting of growth, reduce of vitality, lower production rates, lifeless areas, loss of biodiversity, and even something that impacts us a little more directly, the destroying and shutting down of beaches and recreational areas due to the accumulation of garbage on shore and the hassle of cleaning it all up and maintaining it. The picture in my mind I thought I would share with you because it surely got me into practicing better waste and recycling methods was the thought of a poor marine animal such as a bird or even a dolphin with part of its head or other body parts being stuck in plastic rings where this causes deformation and in many cases death due to the complications resulting, such as their inability to eat. That was actually false. The root cause of food insecurity today is poverty, but climate change does take a role in it as well. Today, 1 in every 6 people in less developed countries is facing food insecurity, meaning that they do not have daily access to enough nutritious food to live an active and healthy life like most of us do. Those 1 out of every 6 people are living with chronic hunger and poor nutrition, which threatens their quality of life. The most important obstacles to food insecurity include poverty, political upheaval and war, corruption, and bad weather, including droughts, flooding, and heat waves, all things that can be contributed to by the rapid climate change that is taking place currently in our environment. 2,245 U.S. counties were declared disaster areas from the droughts that happened last year. Because of these droughts and other harsh weather conditions, coupled with poor farming practices, desertification of farmlands has begun to happen in many areas. Desertification is where regions become arid, losing their water, vegetation, and wildlife. This has caused many people being forced to abandon their farms and livelihoods, and notably, it has also caused a sharp increase in production and consumer prices of products that have been impacted by this, which include corn, milk, and wheat, and other things. For example, milk production costs has risen 50% in recent years, causing a portion of that rise to be passed along to the consumers to pay for. This increase in price due to climate change adds to the food insecurity we discussed earlier. Greenhouse gases are gases that emit and absorb infrared radiation. The greenhouse effect is when heat is caused by the greenhouse gases to be trapped in the troposphere layer of the Earth, the layer closest to the Earth's surface, warming the surface. Regulated greenhouse gases currently include carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, methane, and sulfur hexafluoride. Legislation, education, individual action, and social pressure are all examples of methods to help us deal with climate change, but they are not the only ones. It is true that denial of the current problems that we face with our environment is one of the main reasons why moving towards sustainability has been unsuccessful. As long as people continue to remain in denial, we cannot get anywhere. Thank you all for playing. I hope you knew the answers to a lot of those questions, or that you learned a lot. All topics covered were very important categories that we have covered this semester: environmental crisis. But there's so many more topics of concern and so much more information out there as well. What I've taught you about today is environmental crisis causes, but the class was also about solutions. This part I'm leaving up to you. I challenge you to do a little research for yourself. Who knows, you might even come up with some great ideas. In conclusion, as cliche as it sounds, it is true that if we all stand together to make a change, we can save the earth and humanity along with it. I urge you to remember everything that you've learned in this video and apply to your everyday lives, but also to keep the conversation going about the environmental crisis with your own family, friends, and peers, like I did today. Please do your part in helping save the earth, whatever that may be, and no matter how small, every little bit helps. Get the word out.